Hello, hello. Hey, Peter. Gotta get my stuff together here. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. Um, Almost ready. There's that. Okay. Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Hi, how's it
Hi.
going?
Good. How's it going with you?
Yeah,
Hey,
pretty good. Is
John.
there background noise?
No,
Hold on
I
one
don't hear
second.
anything.
Okay, cool.
There's Ing.
I can just hear my neighbor.
Hey,
Hello,
hey.
everybody.
Hey, Yang. Hey, Chrissy.
Hey, hey.
Chrissy, Claire. Long time no see, Claire.
How's everyone going tonight?
We're doing great. It's a Friday.
It is Friday.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure. I had to check the
Yeah.
bottom of my computer. The kids don't go to school anymore. They're all out. So, yeah.
Oh, they're out of school already?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's
But now they're
good.
yelling at the. I have to close the door. Hang on a
Hi,
second.
Cynthia. Okay. Whew. I had to run. I was late getting here.
Kiddo.
I'm back.
You're back. All right.
Yes. Listen,
So,
I never thought that there would be another case that's even worse than the one we did last week. But
mm.
this is taking the cake, I have to say.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
wait
we've
till
gone to California, so we've left Canada, Australia, and Florida, so we can all just put it on other people.
Look
yeah.
at this. When you look at this, Claire, I think Canadians, Australians are just fine. You know?
Next week's is going to be really good too.
Yep. I
So,
started researching that too.
uh-huh.
Okay. I'm not jumping ahead. You did,
That one's
Chrissy,
crazy.
you just jumped ahead to next
Didn't
week.
I? I know, right? So, alrighty
Oh,
then.
I'm just going to grab my notes, okay? 1 second. Hold on.
Okay, sure. You realize your name still says Wendy Ing?
But I knew that you are a Wendy fan. No, it's actually just an excuse that I didn't change it. Okay, I know. I will do it. Not sure you're gonna like that either, but
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Player's back. Waiting for Ing to Christy Ing. Okay, that's better than Wendy Ing.
yes. No, for tonight, of course. Of
For
course,
tonight, of
yes.
course, yes. Excuse me. Hold on.
Shout out to the chat. I'm sorry I can't be on YouTube and stream out at the same time. Sorry.
We've
Shout
got
out to
Joan
chat.
Wright, we've got Cynthia Turner, and we have Pete Nice, and welcome everybody.
Hmm. And yes, I still have a cough, so I'll be pausing every now and then to take care of that.
And yes,
So,
I still have a cough, so I'll be pausing every now and then.
Claire got her
Let me
finger.
try to give you a third echo. Let's see. Did
No,
this really-
I sorted it. I'm just
no, it's
making
okay.
Pussy feel at home. This is
Yeah,
this
right.
is what I
Yes,
do.
yes.
This is
Yeah,
what
if
I
y'all
do.
didn't screw up at least once, this wouldn't
Chrissy,
be
you
right.
always give your best, coughing or not. So
Well,
yeah,
thank
don't
you. I
worry about
try.
it.
I try.
I'm sure
Okay,
you
are
can
we
even
ready?
hear my chair creaking. So yeah, let's do this.
All right.
Without further do-da-diddly day.
Let's jump right in. Freaky deaky. This case is very freaky deaky. This is the House of Horror. Um, let's start off with the patriarch of the family, David Allen Turpin. Born October 17th, 1961. He was formerly a computer engineer. He graduated from Virginia Tech, and he worked for large companies like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. He attended the same high school as his future wife, though he was 8 years older than her. The school's 1979 yearbook even lists David as an officer in the Bible Club, Chess Club, Science Club, and the a cappella choir. This is David on the screen right there in
That
the
should
high
be a
school.
red flag all over.
Right? He was described as nerdy and a homebody. His parents were James and Betty Turpin. There's not much to say about them two. So I'm just going to move right along. This is Louise Turpin with him when she was 16 and he was, I think, 24.
So her last name is Robinette, right?
Yes, Robinette was her maiden name. She came from an abusive and toxic childhood. Their mother, Phyllis, regularly sold her and her sister, Teresa, to a wealthy pedophile who would routinely abuse them. Teresa's relationship with her nieces and nephews were virtually non-existent, as she only met the 4 eldest kids in person one time and spoke to the rest over video chat, which happened less and less over time. Teresa was quoted by saying, "He would slip money into my hand as he molested me. I can still feel his breath on my neck as he whispered, 'Be quiet.' We begged her not to take us to him, but she would simply reply, 'I have to clothe and feed you.' Louise was abused the worst. He destroyed my self-worth as a child, and I know he destroyed hers too." That's what she was saying about Louise. I'm just throwing random pictures of David and Louise up on the screen.
Yeah, he was 7 years older than her.
8 years, yeah.
Oh, 7,
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, they eloped when he was 24 and she was 16.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was 8 years. 8 years. And that's their wedding picture right there.
They looked like normal folks at that point, but
Yeah, looks can be deceiving. David actually convinced Princeton High School, which is where Louise went in West Virginia, to let him sign her out. And they made it all the way to Texas before Phyllis Robinette, which was Louise's mother, and her husband Wayne filed complaints with the police and forced them to come back home. But the only motive for wanting them to come back home is so they could have an actual ceremony. Hey, Rupert.
can I? What does it mean? He signed her out.
Got her out of
Because when you go to like the school to get your child out, you have to sign saying that you're picking your kid up.
So a husband signed his wife out.
They weren't married yet. That was when he picked her up from the school to go elope.
But that's even worse.
Mhm.
Like, if they're married,
but-
I see your point.
Yeah, but the mom let this happen. The mom
Yeah.
hid this.
So she had to sign too. Okay.
No,
No,
not out of school.
No.
But he convinced
No,
the
no,
school
no.
to allow them to let him sign her out.
Oh.
So he could take her out of school that day so they could run away and elope.
Mhm.
But Claire's right. Her mother would hide their relationship from the father. She allowed them to date.
Mhm.
When they couldn't really do anything but scratch their own nose. They weren't allowed to
Right.
watch TV. They weren't allowed to do anything.
Yeah, because of their.
But the school let a guy sign out a girl. Just
Yes.
oh, yeah.
Yep. Back in
Learn something new every day.
Back in that day, they didn't wasn't too strict on things like that, I guess. But Louise's father was a preacher, and his motivation for bringing them back was to urge them to have a proper ceremony. They were Pentecostal Christians. As a part of their beliefs, the couple had numerous children because God called on them to do so. They produced 10 daughters and 3 sons between 1988 and 2015. Despite their socially conservative beliefs, the couple engaged in swinging.
Well, listen, go ahead. I don't want to jump ahead.
There's no words right now, and it gets worse.
Oh, yeah. So the Turpin family lived in Fort Worth, Texas until 1999 when they moved to a neighboring city of Rio Vista. In 2007, the Turpin parents moved 10 of their children into an isolated trailer on their property. David and Louise took the two youngest and left the rest of the children to fend for themselves, bringing groceries on a weekly basis, but not enough to feed everybody. One of their daughters, Jordan, who was 6 years old at the time, stated there was a lot of starving, and she had resorted to eating ketchup, mustard, or ice. So they got a trailer and left 10 children in the trailer and took 2 with them. Just, I
And
guess,
ice meaning the drug, not.
No, ice meaning ice cubes, because there was no
Oh,
food. So they,
okay.
They
Yeah,
kept
yeah,
all the
right.
food frozen.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
she resorted to eating ketchup, mustard, and ice. A couple of the boys were actually seen digging in trash for food too.
Mm-hmm.
But, after the family left the Rio Vista property in 2010, neighbors found feces and beds with ropes tied to them inside the house, along with dead cats and piles of garbage. Really disgusting, these people. All right, in 2014, they moved to Perris, California. Neighbors reported that the children were silent and less spoken to, like children whose only defense was to be visible, would skip rather than walk, and appeared malnourished and pale. Now, my thing is, if these neighbors saw that, why didn't somebody report this a lot sooner? I don't get it.
I don't get that either.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. All right.
Yeah, but
One of
hey, it happens.
Yeah.
Most incidences, it doesn't end up in a murder conviction, but there are children out there who suffer the same and no one knows
Yeah, true.
because there's, you know,
But I mean, as a human, if you see something like that, I mean, you need to report it because you never know. You never know what could be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. One of
Yeah,
Louise's
amen.
sisters later said that David and Louise refused to let her see the children. And another sister said she had been concerned about the children's weight, but Louise's aunt said the family pictures posted on Facebook had made her think that they were one big, happy family.
Yeah.
Here's some of the pictures. I grabbed a couple of those too. Apparently, they didn't spend all their time in captivity. Photos emerged of the parents and all 13 children visiting Disneyland nearby Anaheim. The boys and girls were dressed in I can't talk tonight.
They were just
Matching.
lucky to
Matching,
go to Disneyland.
yeah,
you
they
know?
probably best time of their life for real.
They
Matching
only went
Disney,
there because of the parents. Hey, look at his bowl haircut. It's
Yeah.
tragic.
That should be a sign right there.
Right there.
yeah. Well, there's more. And they
Yeah, it's good you got a picture without their face covered, which I know they've done interviews now they're older, but yeah, that was
Yes.
a really good photo that you got there, Chrissy.
hmm And this was a time in Vegas when they would go every couple of 2 years to Vegas and renew their vows. So they took the kids there as well.
If it didn't work the first time, just fuck it. Every 2 years.
Every 2
What
years.
does that help?
Mhm.
Shout out to Sven. She's right. Even if you don't call the police, why don't you just feed them? If
True.
they look
Yeah.
malnourished. Yep.
Well, I know one thing that I read, one of the neighbors would try to communicate with them and they would freeze and they would like turn away and not want to be seen, like they were invisible. They wouldn't,
Which is a red flag too.
they wouldn't
Mhm.
even communicate with the neighbors. So,
But can you imagine those poor kids when they're out? They were so disciplined, and I'm jumping ahead with what they were made to do in the house. When they're outside, they're just falling in line. They're just like, oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
fine, we're happy,
That's
let's
all
all
they knew.
smile. Yeah.
they didn't know anything but that. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Where was I? All right. David and Louise had been planning a move to Oklahoma when they were finally arrested. Now, the way they were arrested is Jordan overheard her parents speaking about the move and decided it was time to call the police. I got this picture here. In 2018, the Turpin children had been planning to escape their parents for more than 2 years. On January the 14th, 2 of the girls left the house through a window. The younger girl, who was 13, became frightened and turned back. But Jordan, then 17, got some distance away and called 911 on a deactivated cell phone she had brought with her.
Was that Jennifer? Because Jordan was a boy.
No, Jordan's a girl.
Okay.
Joshua was the boy.
Oh, I thought it was Jennifer escaped and flagged down the car. But anyway,
No,
yeah.
Jordan.
Cool.
Jordan and Jennifer
Okay.
were on the talk show together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think Jennifer might have been the 13-year-old that got scared and went back in the house.
Mm.
Okay, in the 911 call, she told the dispatcher that she and her siblings were being abused by their parents and that the smell in the house was so bad sometimes she could barely breathe. When the first police officer arrived, Jordan showed him photos of conditions inside the house. Deputies of the Riverside County Sheriff's Department raided the house, stating they were there for a welfare check. Louise and David answered the door. I got a picture of that too. Let me find it. Here. They looked like shocked. Totally shocked.
They look like, what did I do? Well,
Like,
Had they had all 13 kids by then?
yes.
What? Yeah.
at that point, yes.
Yeah, they had all 13 kids.
And which house was this one?
The Perris, California one. The last one.
Yeah.
And it was this house here.
Oh,
It's
this is
just
the one
for
Florence
everyone
lived with them.
who
Her
wants
sister.
to look after Paris, California. It's not typed Paris like France.
No,
It's actually
P-E.
P-E. Yeah. Because
P-R-R-I-S,
it took
yeah.
me a while.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote Paris in my notes like Paris, the town. So thank you for that clarification.
This is one of the Claire. Can you take the comment off the screen, please?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you. This is one of the pictures that Jordan showed the officers that she had on this little throwaway cell phone that she had.
Good heavens.
You can see there's actually two girls in this picture that are shackled, and then this girl over here.
If anyone says that's staged, look at their arms.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Malnourished. Yeah.
Yeah, look how skinny and
Look at their hair. They have
mhm.
what, one shower a year?
one shower a year,
Yes,
one meal a
I
day.
thought the same thing. If even.
And one meal a day.
Yeah.
Not funny.
It's not, but it is. Yeah. Here's
Whoa.
a picture.
Can you believe it? Oh.
That's
That's
Louise's-
Jennifer?
That's the
that's
siblings.
Louise's sister Teresa and her brother, which I can't remember his name.
Robinette. Yeah.
Yeah, the Robinettes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, where was I? Inside, they encountered a house reeking of human excrement, decaying garbage, dead pets, and moldy food with every surface covered in trash. Later, they found the other 12 children. One had been shackled to the bed for weeks, and it appeared that 2 others had been shackled until just before the officers arrived. Children were found with bruises on their arms, appearing frail and caked with dirt. The children were so malnourished that deputies thought they were all under 18, when in fact 7 were over 18. The house contained hundreds of journals written by the children about their lives.
Yeah, but that was weird to me too. You know, that they would allow their kids to write that down. Like,
Yeah.
almost like,
I found
Yeah.
that weird too because they had no education
Yes.
at all. The oldest one, which was Jennifer, went through I think 3rd grade or
Yep. She went
3rd
to
grade.
she went to first grade at
Okay.
8 years old.
Yeah, there you
She
go.
was
So
Yeah,
she's
she
the
got
only
bullied.
one.
She's the only one.
Chrissy, not to change the subject, but please tell the chat why Lorena Bobbitt cut off her boyfriend's penis. Maybe after this, Frank, I'll explain.
I wish someone cut off my penis.
Okay, well, where was I going to
Sorry.
say?
So why were they? How could they write journals if they were
Exactly.
uneducated? They didn't even know what a police officer was.
And even at
They
the
didn't
end, they
know
were
what-
so articulate, even though they didn't go to school. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they didn't know how to write, how to read. I mean, this is the stories like from being on Dr. Phil and with Diane Sawyer
Yes.
that we listened to Jordan and Jennifer, and they would say how we didn't even know what medicine was because the officer, the dispatcher, was asking, "Is anyone taking any medicine?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't know what that is." I mean, they don't know any of that, but yet one of them
They
had a
wrote
cell phone.
journals. Yeah.
One of them had a cell phone. I think she said it belonged to one of her brothers. Well,
Yes.
they allowed her brother to have a cell phone, but they didn't
Well,
feed him.
who knows where he got it from? You know, I mean, I
He
don't
doesn't
think
go anywhere.
his
They're
parents.
imprisoned.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're
Yeah.
uneducated. They registered the house as a private school, which they were also charged with fraud for that. But none of the kids were schooled. So how did they write journals, and where'd they keep the journals that the parents didn't destroy them? That's where I was conflicted with this whole story. But
No, it was a main effort of those kids to get
Yeah.
the message out. And that's,
Well, those journals must have been in the cages that they were put in.
yeah, I guess.
I don't think, I think that was at the end. With like when you go to Disney World and stuff, I think it got it got worse.
Yeah, when he retired
Yeah.
in
Yes,
2012.
yes.
Because he also, did I skip that part? Did I go ahead? Oh no.
You jump ahead.
Oh,
I know a guy,
Actually,
Ing,
I
he
thought
does
that he
this.
was-
How dare you?
We're just following Ing's lead. I had that he retired in 2010.
Yeah, we
and
retired
that's
in
when they
20
I think 2012. I think.
But
So
still,
they
there was
left-
8 more years of abuse. Do you know what
Yeah,
I'm
they
saying?
left
Totally,
Vista
absolutely.
in
Yes.
2010.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, he retired.
Mm.
And then in 2011, he also filed bankruptcy due to his credit card debt.
Mhm.
And gambling debts, that's why they went to Vegas.
Yeah, and they went to
They were
Vegas.
gamblers.
But it's
Yeah.
fair to say they weren't in the same setup as they were found with all the cases.
Exactly.
Like it just
Yeah.
added up over time.
Um,
I was just going to say, Sue Ann, that's true.
mhm.
She tried to teach the little ones, but they didn't even know the alphabet.
No, they were like feral kids.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Where was I? For years, the parents had imprisoned, beaten, and strangled the children, allowing them to eat just once a day and shower once per year. The older children appeared much younger because of malnourishment. The 29-year-old weighed only 82 pounds. The 11-year-old had an arm circumference equivalent to that of a 4-month-old baby. Some appeared.
Shout out to the Aussies in the chat. That's 82 pounds is 37 kilos. Like, that's
Amen.
crazy.
Claire's
That-
right.
Yep.
That is such a bad weight. You'd be anorexic. But anyway, sorry to interrupt, Chrissy.
That's okay. Some appeared to lack basic knowledge of the world, for example, being unfamiliar with what medicine and police were. All right, let me finish showing these pictures of the house. That's the bathroom. which is-
15 people using that on a regular basis.
Right. Well, the kids soiled their pants a lot, so.
I know. At a fireplace.
Yeah. The house, if it was clean, was a beautiful house.
No, yes.
But I
Actually,
mean,
yes.
look at all this. Disgusting. They had the window boarded up.
Look at this. Jesus. I never saw this one.
That's one of the closets. And the kids
But the
were-
one where the window was shut, I think that was afterwards. I think the police
No, that's how
shut
they
it down
found it.
too.
That's the
That's how it was?
yeah.
Holy
That's how
shit.
the pictures were taken when they did the walkthrough.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Yeah.
should be a red flag.
And then there's this. The left is the stairs. Look at all the stains on the wall there, and the carpet itself is just disgusting. And then I think this on the right here is the floor.
If COVID didn't start in China, it did start in the stairwell to the left. Jeez. Can you imagine the
Yeah,
bacteria?
disgusting. All right. All the children spent several weeks in the hospital, after which the 6 minors were put into 2 foster homes. I got something to say about that in a little bit too. Hey, Kanile. Doctors treated various issues, including heart damage due to lack of nutrients, cognitive impairments, and neuropathy. So, in February 2019, both David and Louise pled guilty to 14 felony counts each, including child endangerment, false imprisonment, torture, cruelty to dependent adults, and cruelty to dependent adults. They were sentenced in April of 2019 to life in prison, but they will be eligible for parole in 22 years. I thought they would get no parole. They should have gotten no parole.
Just look at her and him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's more.
Yeah.
I'm not a man hater, but I believe that most of the troubles that came down to the 13 children was her.
I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He looks like someone in the Beatles, you know what I mean? With that haircut.
She probably called him and said, "Can you sign me out of school, motherfucker?"
Yeah. If you listen to, I don't know if you've listened to, and sorry, Chrissy, if you're going to play it, but I saw a clip where they renewed their wedding vows.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I saw that.
he's so emotional. He's almost crying. And she's just so passive and like, yeah, okay. Like, I think she was very much a driver in the whole situation.
Yes, Mark, that's
Amen.
that. And here they are after they got the verdict.
Oh, what? Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Abuse?
Well, they're lucky
Absolute
they didn't get the
freaking
chair.
abuse.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, we can live 3 squares a day in the shower, regular sex. That's what jail is all about. They look happy to me. Look at them.
I mean, look, their kids get 1 meal a day, 1 shower a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to jail?
Jail
You're getting
is an
treated
upgrade
better in
for them.
jail than you treated your own offspring.
Yep, they can shower every day and get 3 meals. 3 hots in a cot is what they call it. 3 hots in a cot.
Yes, and
And
us
right.
taxpayers paying for it.
Yep.
Nothing wrong paying taxes. I'm just saying.
This right here is Jordan and Jennifer, all grown up.
They're beautiful.
Jordan on the right, Jennifer on the left. So
Jennifer's a survivor. They all are survivors.
They all are, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, because one thing back when we were talking earlier, like they left all the kids and left the 2 elders to look after them.
and discipline them.
Which one of the 2 actually contacted the
one on the
police?
right, Jordan.
The one on the right, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So now this next part is what really pisses me off. This is, I mean, it all pisses me off, but this pisses me off. 5 of the younger children were housed in foster care with a family where abuse took place.
Yeah.
In October 2019, they were adopted by that family while the abuse was occurring. The foster family was arrested and charged with abusing multiple children in their care, including at least one of the Turpin children. So they go through this for however many years, and they get put into a foster care where they think their life's going to get better, and it's basically the same. They're being abused.
Happening again.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
The system is flawed. It is flawed. In early 2020, the Riverside County Deputy District Attorney said that some children are living independently, living in their own apartment and have jobs and are going to school. Some volunteer in the community. They go to church. One had graduated from college. Now, it is worth mentioning that there was a trust, a GoFundMe set up for these kids through all of this, and there's 600 grand in this account, and they
Nice.
can't touch it.
What
They
do you
can't
mean?
touch it.
Like the parents, or
The
what
kids.
do you mean?
The kids have no
Wh-
access to it. There's so
Why
much
not?
there's so much red tape, so much going
Oh,
on that Joshua, which is one of the oldest boys, wanted to get money out to buy a bicycle, and they wouldn't allow him to have it. They wouldn't give it to him.
get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just someone raised that money and now lives off the interest. That's
Yep. There,
what's happening.
a couple of
Because if
them
it's
are.
not paid out, it's on an account, and the guy who
Mhm.
owns the account will make money in interest.
Yeah, it says that the district attorney guy said that they had their own apartments and stuff. They got like these beat up, raggedy apartments on the bad side of town, filthy, just like they were used to living in.
So
So
they didn't get a break, in a
no,
sense.
well, I mean, they did because they weren't beaten and they could eat what they
Yes,
wanted if they
absolutely.
could access it. But
It wasn't that
without
bad.
money, they couldn't do much of anything. So, um, do, 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 do. All right. Now, in an investigation for the ABC News Magazine 2020, which chronicled the case for the November 2021 special Escape from House of Horror, reported some of the Turpin children are now neglected by the Riverside County Social Services. Here we go. Some are homeless, and none may use the hundreds of thousands of dollars donated to them. The money was placed in a trust controlled by a court-appointed public guardian. Joshua stated he could not access the funds and was denied the purchase of a bicycle. During an interview with Diane Sawyer for the 2020 special, Jordan stated that she was released without warning from a foster home with no life skills, no plans for housing, or knowledge of how to get food or health care. According to the report, Riverside County has hired a private law firm to investigate allegations of abuse by social services. So they're still fighting. Their lives are better, but not like they should be.
Agreed. That's crazy.
It is. These kids are still going through hell, being abused, and I mean, like they had little ones. The youngest was 2.
Yes.
That's correct. Yep.
Can you imagine if they didn't place this one into the proper hands? It doesn't have a chance at life.
Mm-mm.
I agree with Mark Evans. They should rot in hell. But no matter where they rot, the kids have to be looked after. They're alive.
Right.
Today.
I think
That's-
the parents need to be starved and given one meal a day.
Yes.
And
Shower them.
shower once a year.
Yeah.
I shower once a year, even if I don't have to. Like, just, but my kids are fine. My kids are fine.
Yeah. So during their hearing, I forgot to mention this part, David and Louise both apologized to their children in court upon their sentencing. I never intended for any harm to come to my children. I'm sorry if I've done anything to cause them harm, David said. I hope the very best for my children in the future. Louise offered a similar apology. I'm sorry for everything I've done to hurt my children. I love my children so much, she said to the court. I look forward to the day I can see them, hug them, and tell them I'm sorry. Well, hopefully that day does not come anytime soon.
But just think about this. If your parents who have abused you and put you through hell all your life, if they give an apology at court, that's almost like another slap in your face.
Mhm.
Like, what does it mean? It didn't mean
Right.
it.
Couple of it was Joshua.
Yes.
He read a statement in court. 2 statements. He read his and one of the younger girls, Jessica. And he said in his statement that he loves his parents and he forgives them for what they've done. And Jessica was basically the same way. And I think it's because that's all they knew. They didn't know anything else but the abuse
Yes.
that they were suffering.
But parents are parents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, that's all they knew.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know that it was different in the outside world. They didn't know that kids don't get treated that way. That, you know, Jennifer is the only one who got to experience any of that when she was in school, in elementary. But none of the other kids were ever experienced any outside interaction with anyone.
Yeah.
So,
But the nightmare didn't end for all of them. You know, when you be in a foster home,
right.
face the same
Yep.
attacks. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's
Now, are you done with the timeline?
yes.
Or okay, so I won't jump ahead.
No,
No, actually, I have to jump. I have to jump back because when you look at the mother, Robinette, what was her name? Louise Ann? Was that her name?
Louise, yeah, Louisiana.
Yeah. She grew up in a house of horror herself.
Yes.
And it was actually her mother that had several children. She was the oldest. In the beginning, I thought, because, you know, you showed them earlier, it was Louise Ann's siblings.
Yeah, it was Teresa.
They were actually the ones who gave the most interviewed in all the footage I've seen. And I thought, okay, they got out fine. Why didn't they? She was the oldest.
Yeah.
And her mother would pimp them out to her father. So they would be...
You didn't hear that when I was reading that?
Yes, I did. But, you know, the thing is that some of them turned out fine, but I think Louise Ann Robinette, she had the most of the abuse all her life. There was some, you know, that doesn't make it right. It's not an excuse, but you can maybe see where she's coming from, failing her own children.
Well, yeah, but you would think if you go through that, if you get out of it, whether it's you're married or you run away, you wouldn't want your kids to suffer that same thing that you went through.
Absolutely. And her siblings actually turned out quite all right, considering the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you don't want it. You don't want your kids to go through what you went through. You try to protect them from it.
Chrissy, if the whole case didn't come out to light, you just imagine how many other families or kids live like that and we will never know of. Because if this Robinette doesn't find Turpin and abuses 13 children, we would have never known what happened to her when she was young, you know? So seeing this, it never came out to light, makes you just wonder what happens in those households out there.
Yeah.
Every day.
And that's why I said, if you're a neighbor and you I'm not saying be one of those nosy neighbors, but if you see something, it just doesn't seem right, then just, it doesn't hurt to call and check. You know what I mean?
You definitely you don't have to be a nosy neighbor to know something is wrong, because when something is wrong, it will come across you when they live close by. And they, you know, like, didn't they at one point, the Turpins, lived in Texas before they went to California, and it was only 10 children they had at the time. And the neighbors always said it was weird from day one. For 10 years, no one says anything. You know?
Yeah, the people who lived right across the street from them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. I mean, if you see things like that, then you got to speak up.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, if you're wrong, great. But if you're not wrong, then you're going
That's
to
what
help
I'm.
the
Yes,
kid.
better be wrong once than not claiming anything and missing shit.
Right. Yep.
I don't know.
Pete wants to know if you're a nosy neighboring.
Neighboring.
You know why Pete is attacking me every day, all day long? Because he's Jewish, and if I say something wrong, he calls me a Nazi. No, Pete is my friend. I love Pete. We're best friends.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's okay. Ooh, Ing or Pete?
Well,
Pick a number.
right.
No, but whenever children are involved, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, next
I'm
week.
an asshole, but loving my children is no effort whatsoever. I don't know where people get their
Mm-hmm. I don't
motivation
get it.
on molesting or hurting their children. I don't
I,
get it. I
I
don't.
raised 4 of them on my own.
They're fine.
Yep. I was a single parent of 4 kids. So,
Yeah.
and I could never do something like that to my children. Ever. So,
Well,
but
Claire has a daughter too, right?
yes.
Like the love to a child, it's special, and it takes no effort. It's part of nature, if I may say. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a response of what's going on.
Yeah. And you do things for your children that you'd never thought you'd do.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And mine are better men than I ever was already today. But I blame my wife for it. I blame my wife. Mm.
Yeah, Claire's daughter is beautiful. Just like her mama.
Absolutely. I show you a pic. They look like Japanese, right?
Yeah.
I was just trying to welcome Barbara to the stream.
Hey,
Hi,
Barbara.
Barbara.
Mhm. Yeah. Claire, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think a lot of this case is lost on me in the name of God and discipline. That really irks me. I think that's a cop out.
Mhm.
And
Totally.
um
But
and
Claire, can
yeah.
I throw one thing in? Like,
Mm.
even if they grew up in a Pentecostal household, that doesn't mean that they were attached to the church through all that time. Like, it's easily said what religion their parents had or anything, because I would say that a Christian church would pick up on 13 children being abused. So to say they're Pentecostal, it doesn't give you the full story if they didn't attend to church.
No, and I think her father was the preacher and
Preacher, yeah.
Louise's dad, and he was the one that was
Yes,
very
yes.
religious, and that's where they think a lot of her discipline came from. And then when he found out that his wife was lying to him and hid the relationship with the husband, with David, is it David? David, is it David?
Yeah.
Yeah. He left the clergy. He said, well,
Yeah.
she's made her decision when they were found that they ran away and he took her out of school. He said, well, she's made her decision. And he found out that his wife lied to him. He left the clergy. He just did stop preaching, and I just find and they said, oh, God wants us to have all these children, but I don't think God ever wanted you to shackle your children, feed them once a day, shower them once a year. Can you imagine?
Mm-mm.
And shackle you
Yes.
to a bed so that you can't relieve yourself. And I know you showed the photos of the toilet, like those poor kids, how many times did they visit that? Like, what? But that's all in the name of God? Get the fuck out of here. Sorry.
You know what?
Triggers
One,
me on another level.
the sister of the Robinette, she
Yeah.
went, actually, she was in an
Alright.
interview and she said,
Yeah.
my sister wanted 20, but I'm glad she didn't have the 14th.
Right.
She said that in an interview. Like,
Yep.
they were not done yet. Like, if you don't catch them right there and then, it gets worse.
Mm.
I just wonder why it took so long for people to see. And I know we were talking about neighbours earlier and everything. And I did that the other day. I was watching someone in a car park and they looked really dodgy and they were, anyways. And I just, for myself, wrote the number plate down because I don't want to find out a week later that the police are looking for a certain car with these dodgy people. So be aware. Like, I know in retrospect you can go, I remember seeing that, but if it doesn't look right, then it's not right. So just like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
These kids could have not suffered, but this sounds stupid as well because they could not have suffered as much as they did. But then look at them, they get rescued and put into the same freaking situation.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
They still get abused.
Damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really, 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 really sad case.
Yeah, and in that foster family that abused them, that was the foster mom and dad and their older daughter. I think she was 30-something. Who also abused them.
So for the record, no one actually died.
No.
In this case, yeah.
Oh well, that's a good point.
No, but it makes it so much worse because, as I said earlier,
we died inside.
Robinette, like the mother of those 13 kids, she had the worst upbringing ever. That doesn't give her a free for all. You're right, Chrissy. But like, it didn't even take a murder or dead body for people then to zone in and say, "Oh shit." And I think if it would go on after that, I think a child would have lost their lives. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say it to Sue Ann, Chrissy, or me, but like they only went to Disney for themselves, for the parents, because they're so fucking delusional.
For the picture, because that picture exists. Like, did they ever take a picture in the house? They never took a picture in the house.
No.
To go to Disney World to show that they're good parents.
Yeah,
and they only went there not for their children's entertainment; they did it for themselves.
Yeah, I was just thinking about those Disney trips. I mean, here you have, you might as well say 12 because the little one had to be carried. You had 12 kids who were malnourished. They probably
didn't see that?
They probably had no energy. How can they walk through Disney World?
And they were only there because of their parents, because their parents were living in some fantasy world.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that I guess maybe they could afford it because they went to Vegas every 2 years and they were gamblers.
Mm-hmm.
I kept looking at this case. I kept wondering why do they foreclose there, and then they foreclosed on 2 houses, declared bankruptcy. What is it? Because you're feeding 13 children 3 times a day? Oh no!
No.
Are you washing 13 children morning and night? Oh no. Are you even, and Jennifer, the one that went to school, got bullied because she was 3 years older. She wore the same clothes to school for a year, and everyone complained, and she got bullied so badly because she smelled like pee. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Going to school.
Yeah.
With your hair not washed.
I don't think the church was funding them because I never went to church.
Amen. And the thing, I find comfort in the fact that I never took my kids to Disney World.
Yeah, I took mine once.
I took
all
myself
four of them.
to Euro Disney and I ticked that box. So yeah.
Oh, man.
We drove all four of our children from Virginia down to Disney World. I didn't live down here when I had my kids when they were little.
I take my grandchildren there. But Eric is not
Oh,
dating
okay.
yet. I don't know what to do.
I've only been there once. That was it. And that was when they were little. I live here now and I still don't go.
You do. You close.
Yeah, I'm like an hour maybe away from it. I can drive to
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, actually, when Kira came to visit, Lucas was maybe two or three.
Oh.
Her and her friend Erin, they took Lucas and they went to Disney World. It was because it was so close. Yeah, they just drove there.
Did he love it?
Mm.
I don't think I
Gosh,
can
yeah.
come to America anymore. I can't be Eddie Murphy. I need to be vaccinated. So I'll just put it on the wish list.
Yeah. All right, so chat.
Come to
had-
Canada.
I think you still have to be vaccinated, don't you? Or
I
does
think
Justin
you're
say no?
vaccinated to fly.
They just ask you at the airport, are you vaccinated? All you do is just nod.
I don't know. When we flew for our vacation in November, we had to have our card. We had to show them the
Yeah,
card.
you have to have some kind of passport or something to show.
I don't want to insult anyone, but in Canada, they do it with people from the US. From Australia, no one has to show a card. I swear to God.
Really?
Yes.
All right. I say we just look good just on the nod. Yeah, mate.
Listen,
I'm
how
vaccinated.
bad can
That's
it
all
be?
good. It's all good.
25 million people, descendants of just, people in jail. Wasn't it a criminal continent for the British at one point? Yes. See, I'm not wrong. Yeah. So you have to
No,
ask
but
me.
if you're a flat earther, Ing, we all died and everyone got thrown off the boat and we're all actors. But yeah, it was a criminal continent.
Claire,
You're
I'm
right.
not a flat earther. I'm the center of the universe, and everything around me is all round and goes just around me. No, there's no flat earth. I'm the center of the universe. And they're doing fine. Look at me.
You're alive. That's good.
But flat earthers don't even think about Australia.
Because we
After-
don't exist.
Yeah,
We don't
to them you
exist.
don't.
I'm an
For
actor.
me.
I'm an actor in this.
I'm an actor.
Need to step up my acting game.
about our case? I don't see any.
This case was hard to research, I have to tell you.
Well, wait till you start researching next week's. That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
bad.
So
Hey,
can you give
on
us a cliffhanger? What will the case be?
Wait,
Don't
wait.
go into details.
Before that, so they're still in jail. What's the release date for them?
They just got sentenced in 2019. They have to serve at least 22 years before they're eligible for parole. So
Oh, 1920. Okay, all right. So they'll be there till their dying days.
yeah, like 2041 or something like that.
Yeah. Can you imagine us covering that case when they're released?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think they're
We'll be
going to
around.
fight that long, to be honest with
No,
you.
I doubt
We're gonna
it as
have a
well.
live stream right in front of the courthouse, and they let them out. We're gonna attack them with microphones,
And walking frames.
verbal attacks.
We'll be
How
on
many
our
children
Zimmer
do you
frames by
have?
then.
Count to 13. bitch.
Australia, the one beer I like better than Germany. Oh, nice, Pete.
Isn't Pete? You're right. They know how to do beer in Australia. That's true. He had it again. Talking about cheese in English. Hey, listen, that's how I grew up. I was taught about people that should be in jail, but none of my 13 siblings were one of them. I have to tell you that.
You didn't have 13. Stop it.
No, I don't. Almost.
My
Can't
mom-
be 13 other Ings out there. Or
They
12.
Oh,
God help us.
listen to me. You don't
They were
want to know.
16 in my
Claire,
mom's family.
Yeah, amen. Claire,
Oh,
you don't want to
They
know.
didn't have TV, Chrissy. Sorry.
36 first cousins.
Oh,
hmm Yep, 16. She had 16 siblings. Well, 15. She was 16.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
why you're such a fine human being.
Damn Germans.
Amen. See, no, in German it's Amen. Don't say
Oh,
Amen.
They just know how to brew and breed.
brew and breed. That's right.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Trust me.
Yeah, they were really heavy drinkers over there.
No shit.
All my aunts and uncles were drink, 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 drink. So, but yeah.
You have way too much fun over this case. Proceed.
It was
No,
a good
but
case. It was a good
it
case.
was. Yeah,
It was a
I
good
didn't
case,
know.
but
Never heard of Turpin until 3 days ago.
I ran across it just on one of my news feeds, and I was like, "What is this?" And decided to watch it, and I was like, "Oh wow!" So that's how I found next week's too.
House of Horror, indeed. You know,
It's a really good channel, actually.
It is, yeah.
so next week you already did you settle, Chris?
Yes, it's in the TC server.
Amen. I won't let anyone know but Pete. Pete always has to know.
Pete
But he
knows better.
won't leak
He
it.
knows
I
better than
don't
to
think.
leak it out because he don't want my
Yes.
wrath. He's already had my wrath last week, but I forgave him because it was for the girl. So
He was so happy that he's still alive.
yeah, yeah. He messaged me and said, "I don't want to risk your wrath again. I will be there early." All right.
He
So,
said the same to me. We should compare notes because I think I got more DMs on it than you.
right.
I love it. I love Pete. Pete is a fine father of a young daughter who graduated
Yeah, she's a
2
good
weeks ago.
girl.
Yes, she's a good girl.
That's what him and I first started talking about was her. So
Yes.
that's what got us talking was her. So she's
She's
a she's a Grogu fan like I am. We both love
Pete.
Grogu.
Stop with your foreplay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Busybody, like, listen, so even Jews and Germans are the same, right? There you go. I love him.
Right.
He's
So-
from Denmark. Can I say that, Pete?
You already did.
Yeah, but I will only clip the part when he says yes. No, he's Danish, but great American.
So if anyone wants to look this case up, there's several interviews with Jordan and Jennifer, and you can see how they're reacting now and how they're all getting along. And they talk about they go to the parks with their siblings, and they just have a great time. So hopefully it all works out for them and they're able to move on in their lives.
It's the most happiest ending that could be.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, they're all scarred for life, but make the best out
Right.
of it.
I mean, as far as we know, no one died. So we know they only had we only think they had 13 kids. Who knows?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? So we'll see. But yeah, I hope that they all get along well and are able to live a happy life and have kids of their own and things like that. So, and I don't think they'll mistreat them like they were mistreated. They've been through too much.
No one does it like that. We should not forget that this is just a small amount of people who go after their children. 99.9% of parents do the right thing.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we have to overlook when it goes wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it that high of a percentage, but yeah.
I think I would. I don't know.
I've seen and read too many horror stories.
You know what?
Kids dying in foster care and
no doubt. Yes.
yeah, too much. So, but anyway, that was tonight's case. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Always thank you to Claire and Ing. And tune in next Friday at the same time where it's going to be a doozy.
A doozy.
A doozy. It's a perfect case for us. It's going to be hard,
Great
but
stream, Chrissy. Thank you.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
friend.
you. Thank you. All of it. All y'all. Thanks, Sue-Ann. Thank you for being here, and everyone else. Peter and Sue-Ann, Mark, Barbara, Frank, all y'all. Kanile. Appreciate it.
Dropped in Cynthia.
Cynthia. Yeah. I hope Garrett's okay. I haven't seen him around.
Hey.
I have to stop into Pegasus a couple times and see if. Oh, there's Cuban.
Hey, Cuban. Don't show me his avatar because I keep eating every time I see it.
There it is.
It's such. Look at the. Yeah, you goes right to my hips. Goes
Mhm.
right to my hips.
Yeah. So, Shamrock will be doing a case, and
Oh.
it is so good. Yeah, she messaged me to ask me questions. She wanted to let me know that she's not trying to steal my thunder or anything. I told her it's fine. There's so many people that do true crime, go for it. But the case that she
Especially in
told me
QF.
about, yeah, the case that she told me about is so freaking good. I wish I'd have found it before her. But, you know, when she
Can
does
you
it,
give us any? Can you give us any hints?
I can behind the scenes, but I won't.
Yeah, yeah. But
wanna say
Shamrock,
that loud.
she wants to just cover it
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
And
And
that,
as soon as,
rightfully so.
yeah, as soon as I
Shamrock, you
find
did
out,
it. I gonna roll you through crime in QF. You did
yeah,
it.
as soon as she tells us when she's going to do it, I'll let you guys know, so we can all be there and support her. But it's such a good one, and wait till you guys hear it. I'll tell you about it behind the scenes, but I can't.
Is it in America?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Shamrock is Sue-Ann. She's awesome. So, but anyway, that's it for this one. And like I said, tune in next week. You guys will love it.
Thanks. Love to the chat. Thanks.
So is
Chrissy
she coming
and
on the
Claire.
stream?
Who?
Shamrock?
No,
Or you
she's
just
doing
go-
her own stream.
Oh, okay. Are
She's
you
gonna
going to
do-
go up with her or?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I'll just be in the chat. But so
We support her any way she wants us to.
yeah. I'll let you guys know what it's about, and then when she's gonna have it, so we can all be there. But wait till you even read on this case. You're gonna wish that we'd have found it first. Seriously, it's so good.
How many more children can there be in danger than 13?
Oh, this one's awesome. This one is
I
so
don't know.
good. So okay, everyone, have
Thank
a
you,
great night.
everybody.
Thank you for being here, you guys, and we will see you next Friday.